G'day world, Chris Hogan coming to you from Me Media Studio at Burleigh Heads for episode 134 of the Proactive Podcast. And today, I'm very glad to say, I have a good friend of mine, Theo Vairaktaris. Welcome, Theo.
Cheers, bud. I'm pretty impressed. Episode number 134.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, mate. So, a little bit of history of ours. We went to the same school together, high school together.
That's right.
Theo was a year ahead. I've been watching you for many years. But there was some differences in our upbringing. You came from some humble beginnings.
Yeah.
And we're not going to cover that story again because a friend of mine and a few friends of mine on podcasts, naming one, Ryan Tuckwood, has already covered that. So go and check out that episode if you want to hear that story.
Yeah.
But
Legend bloke.
yeah, total legend. We shared a neighbourhood in Mermaid Beach for some years.
Yeah, we did. We had a few good times together there.
Mate, there's plenty of parties.
There was.
Plenty of surfing. You started a clothing brand there.
Yeah, Obscene Industries. That was epic. That was so cool.
Was that your first business?
I'd probably say that was my first official business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say, that was my first official business. But when I was a kid growing up, obviously, humble beginnings in the Housing Commission, I used to go around and mow people's lawns and stuff like that and bring some cash home and stuff. So, yeah, that business was my first, like, PTY LTD, official business. Yeah.
Mad.
Trying to have a go, yeah.
Yeah, well,
good.
mate, that was a long time ago, plus 20 years, I think. And now, Usher Group has actually celebrated, in 2021, celebrated its 20th year in
that's
business.
right.
So, mate, congratulations.
Yeah, cheers.
What an epic ride I bet that's been.
Yeah, that was, a huge roller coaster ride. It's definitely made me the person I am today. But, very grateful for that experience and very grateful for the Usher Group. It's still powering along, and it's very, 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 very grateful for what that's done to me and my family and all the families that Usher Group employs.
What an awesome, gift to be able to give, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like when you're able to build something up that supports other families, while it can feel like a burden sometimes.
Yeah.
It also
staff. And lots of them, hundreds of them.
Yeah. Well, you're responsible for their mortgages too.
Yeah. That's right.
That can feel a bit like a burden, but you can also be super grateful for that also. Mate, it's the largest painting company in Queensland. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's definitely correct. We're by far the largest painting company and integrated services company in the state. And yeah, I'd say we're probably either first or second in the country. It's always a battle between us and our formidable foe out there. And I think imminently we'll probably be the largest in the country if we're not already. Yeah.
Awesome. So, mate, never one to rest on your laurels. You've put in a leadership team at Usher.
Yep.
Which I think you were just sort of progressing. Probably last time we spoke, which I don't know if it was 1 or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And now you're sort of letting them run the show, so to speak.
Yep.
And you've become CEO of the Fund My Challenge.
Correct.
God, that was a shocker.
Yeah.
Sorry. So many words to bring to the podcast. But yeah, Fund My Challenge.
Yes.
Is that a charity in itself? Or what is Fund My Challenge?
So it is. It has a charity behind it called the Global Awakening, which is a public ancillary fund. So what it is it's a charity that donates to charities. So we needed a charity in the back end of Fund My Challenge. So what Fund My Challenge is obviously it's an ecosystem where we've seen a huge need out there in that charitable space. I've been involved with, supporting charities and community movements and initiatives and the like for, 20 plus years. But there was a massive need out there, which there was no platform or no product or anywhere where good charities could interact with brands and influencers and celebrities in a safe harbor environment. So, and that's what we created Fund My Challenge, which basically we vet our charities. We've got a stringent vetting process, as you know, we've spoken about before, and some charities make it and a lot don't. So we've been vetting out of the 50 plus registered charities on the ACNC in Australia. There's 50,000. We've only qualified. We're still getting through them. However, we've only qualified about, I think, 32 charities now out of like 500 plus that we've vetted. So, obviously the percentage rate's not too high. However, but we use different metrics in our vetting process. Charities that make a hugely positive impact to the local communities they serve. We're not really interested in the big national, international brands. We're really interested in the small charities that typically people don't know about, or they may know about, but really on a small basis. And they actually really make a positive impact to their community. And they're the ones that we're looking for. They're the ones that we believe we want to amplify, and we want to connect then with local businesses. And then obviously then their local influencers or celebrities in a safe manner. So then that way, we've all heard the stories of, missed things that have been done by certain charities or whatnot, and not by fault of their own, by their constitution that's held them back from being able to do certain things, and people raising money for other certain charities, but then not them being able to spend it where they're meant to, and it's no fault of. It's just a fault of the system. So what we've sort of created then is, and then obviously brands and influencers, celebrities don't like being caught up in that they've got their brand to protect. So what we've done is created an ecosystem, which is an amazing platform, and we connect everyone together, and then we amplify, causes and needs. And now we're going into the next stage now of crowdfunding as well. So we didn't do crowdfunding at first. We really wanted to do our slow steps and get to where we wanted to be. So now we're initiating crowdfunding where we're able to raise funds for people in need, whereas before it was only just for charities. So yeah, we're really excited about that platform that we've created, and it's got some amazing ambassadors behind it. You should see, like, so many people just come out of the woodwork, really amazing humans with huge influences out there that just come on board and help us amplify amazing needs and causes out there. So
Mate,
it's been epic.
I know. I've jumped on the website and seen a lot of them. It's absolutely amazing who you've attracted there. So
we've raised like over $1 million for charities and people in like 9 months. We haven't even been operating a full year yet. It's been epic.
That's amazing, mate.
It's so good.
Yeah. So Usher Cup?
Yeah.
That was that idea born out of Fund My Challenge, or was that always something you just wanted to do, and then all of a sudden you had a platform?
Well, it's pretty funny, how things just happen in my world. Like, there was a lot of synergy there, obviously, there with what we're doing. But you remember the days, like, we used to have surf comps when I used to run surf comps when we were like 19, 20, back in the obscene days. So it was always still a passion, obviously, doing surf comps and being obviously both surfers as we are, and how much our beloved ocean does to us and helps us on our journey. What happened was, though, so we've got the Usher Love vehicle that's been our charitable vehicle that's been supporting charities and community events, initiatives, clubs, footy clubs, and everything around the country. However, we never really had a flagship event or something that really stamped Usher Love as, look at this model that we, what we've got and the charities that we support. And COVID hit, and obviously, as you know, it wasn't just the surfing clubs that all our club rounds got cancelled. It was all the sporting clubs. It was footy clubs, netball clubs, like everything. All the kids' clubs were grounded. So there was no club events, there was no meetings, there was no nothing. And what we found was that a lot of the kids had nothing to, no goals to, look forward. They stopped their training. They stopped doing, their little community events or movements or meetups, and that they would do positive things for their community. And we saw that loss of direction in the kids in our particular town here on the Gold Coast. And I met up with Wayne Rabbit Bartholomew. I like to call him the godfather of surfing, because he's definitely is that for us, especially for our town. And we spoke about old days and surf comps, and And we said, why don't we just have a community event? And I was like, that would be awesome because, I want to support the charities. Who's hurting the most in a COVID environment is also charities because not many people are able to give, which is understandable. So we put our heads together and with obviously him being the event director, like I'm learning so much from him. He's an absolute weapon and building formats and helping me understand the mechanics of surf comps in a proper way rather than now old school, just freestyle way. And we spawned the idea of the Usher Cup. And what we did there was then obviously ushering in, excuse the pun, the Union of Board Riders, which has not been, it's not, we didn't do it first. There's lots of club events that happen, and there's lots of successful club events that happen. The Cura Teams Challenge, the Australian Board Riders Battle, and they're all great events, and they've all been before our time. Another great event is obviously the Burleigh Board Riders Single Fin. I love competing. I love that event. It's on a Gold Coast standout event. So it's not something that we were first to do, but we really wanted to bring the community into the event with a charitable purpose, which has never been done. So then we got the board riders clubs together. We got the team aspect where the individuals are surfing for their club honours, but also for themselves. And obviously equality is massive in our family and our business, as you know. So we were always massive about equal prize money, but for male and female.
Yeah, I thought that was an awesome push.
It's huge.
And really obvious push, but I think on purpose, right?
Because the girls are ripping.
Yeah, absolutely they are.
They are ripping, and they are competing at such a higher standard every year. Like they're getting better and better and better, and they deserve it. And of course they deserve it. It's like there should be more competitions out there that are all about equality.
Exactly.
And then it actually helps the depth of clubs grow. It actually helps the girls, go on to that, it's a great segue onto the world qualifying series, the QS, and then the Challenger series. And, it's exactly what we've seen that the Usher Cup achieved. So we'll obviously hands down massive about that. And then obviously that's how then we created the skeleton and the our mascot, which is always the Usher Cup skeleton. He's on the back. Oh, yeah. But because it's gender equality, you can't tell if it's a male or female. Obviously, you're not going to count the rib bones.
Right on.
But you can't tell if it's a male or female surfing, and that was huge for us. So we went with that as our main logo, and then we brought the charities in. And then another thing was that we didn't really want to take from the surfing industry and go out there and raise some sponsorship funds from the surfing industry. You know what I mean? Like we didn't want to be another event than taking from already events that are already happening that have dedicated sponsorship. And obviously passion.
Surf industries, skate industries, snow,
and we don't want to we don't want to just be another event. So, and for us, I love the construction industry. It's been my whole life. It's my passion. And the construction industry does so much out there in the community. They're always donating to charities and community clubs and whatnot. And they really they want to sponsor the surfing industry. Like how many tradies do you know that surf? How many percent? It'd be more than 50%. or maybe not. But
on the Gold Coast,
on the Gold Coast, definitely. That's what I was about to say. Yeah. So there's definitely an opportunity there for the construction industry to be a part of it. And the Usher Cup is a clear example. I sent one email out to our mates out there in the construction industry, and we sold the sponsorship in 2.5 hours on the year one. And year two was the same thing. It was 3 hours. The whole sponsorship was done. We could have kept going and oversold it. What we do, the model. So what we do is we go out there, we sell the sponsorship. That's all the money we donate to charity, and Usher obviously pays for the whole comp itself. So, and Usher puts up all the prize money, and we had over $73,000 of prize money this year. And
mad.
Yeah, so it's an epic concept, and we don't have naming rights sponsors. We don't have other sponsors, so all that sponsorship that the construction industry gets on board for. And second year, it's been some small business.
I noticed. Yeah, I noticed. It was cool.
Yeah, that small businesses that sell their products. Like New Age Caravans, they sell caravans, and they come on board. I think the owner's daughter was in the comp in the first year, and they come on board as a gold sponsor, and that was epic. Like they're a family business here on the Gold Coast, and it's all about businesses supporting our local community, and every one of those 10 charities all make a positive impact to this, like to the Gold Coast community.
Absolutely, man.
So that it was huge.
And you, I think you did an amazing effort of shining a light on both the sponsors and the charities. It was seriously like a great effort. And saying that from a marketing point of view, watching your marketing, it was like, right on, you got this.
It was
as
so
well
cool.
as well as like implementing the live feed.
Yeah, that was.
I mean,
That
what
was
was
a shoot from the hip, freestyle. Yeah,
no, but that was sick. Like full credit to you. And like I'd say that rabbits, helped you sort of go, okay, well, now we need to do this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
Probably something that you wanted to do, but then it's sort of like, well, that team has actually come together really well to pull it all
it's been
together.
amazing. Like him and I are like this dynamic duo. Like both do two different skill sets. We come into a room, we get each other. We both get it. We don't talk like we don't have to say too much. We both get it. We go our ways and we make shit happen. Like it's just amazing. Like and then obviously as well we've had a huge amount of help from Simon Sagafin, like Shagger. He's a videographer here on the Gold Coast. He's been such a huge instrumental part with the live stream and all the shooting all the action and whatnot behind the scenes, and he's been amazing. And yeah, another company, Jason Sintone from Mad Panda, he's been a weapon behind the scenes. Well, we've got this little posse, and just magic happens.
Rad.
It's been so rad, and I'm glad you commented there on the marketing side, because for us it's all about giving back to the sponsors. I mentioned before the construction industry does so much out there in our community, and they're rarely recognised. People actually don't know how much all these amazing companies out there, like Hutchinson Builders, one of them, and all the subbies out there, they do amazing things in our community. And sometimes I find like the people at like the communities, like they might see their logos in it and this and that, but they actually don't realise how much they actually give and what they actually do. And so for us, it was all about giving back to the sponsors. So they donated, that goes to charity, and then it's my job to amplify their brands and the charities as well. Like they've all got a story. Like they've all got amazing piece of positivity and problems that they're solving in this community.
Yeah.
And
what was the animal charity that you...
Animal Welfare League or the Currumbin Wildlife Hospital?
Well, I know definitely know the Currumbin Wildlife Hospital.
Of course, yeah.
Client of mine.
Yeah.
No, the Animal Welfare League.
Yeah,
I think
they're epic. They're a family business.
You and I watched that video of you and Rabs going in there, and
they're huge.
And I was getting a bit emotional actually.
Their whole mantra is no animal gets euthanized. Like that's their mantra. Like that is unbelievable. They'll always find a home for an animal, and but as well what they do, how they give back. So any of the elderly, like that. Animals are their companions. Like that's their world. That the families have moved on or lost friends or partners or whatever, and if they can't afford or not in a position to look after their loved one, their pet, Animal Welfare League is a hospital for domestic animals. So they'll just cover everything. They'll cover the operation. They'll cover whatever the animal needs, and they do that for homeless or elderly or anyone in need on the Gold Coast that can't afford to keep their animal alive. They pay for it. They
Amazing.
It's and a
So
lot of
that
people
was-
don't know that.
No, so that's two charities that we just mentioned:
Yep.
Currumbin Wildlife Hospital, Animal Welfare League. There was 10 in total. Is that right?
Yeah, 10. So Serving Our People is another one headed by Yas out at Mermaid Beach. They're amazing. They serve the community and other charities. So if they've got so many relationships with lots of other charities, so if the other charities need help getting some food or stuff to a person, or need to get a person delivered somewhere, or whatever they need to help in any way. They did so much at the Christmas time. Rabbit and I went out and actually did some volunteering work with them and delivered food and hampers to families that need it the most, and gave them a Christmas lunch, and gave them a real Christmas, which was amazing. And yeah, Serving Our People is really good, and they're in the infancy. They're growing. They've got a lot of great companies behind them supporting them. They're going to do great things in our community. They're going to be epic. Awesome. Volunteering Gold Coast, another one.
Yep.
They do similar things as well. They they've got cool programs. Like they're helping people with needs and disabilities get to the beach. So that's why we actually sponsored that one fundraiser that they had there going. And so they get this, military industrial grade matting down, and, people that have, I wouldn't say take it for granted, because we love the ocean and we're forever grateful for it. But how many people can't actually get to the ocean?
Yeah.
And they call it the last mile, from the Esplanade across that sand to the water, and then being safe in the water as well. So they've got these, equipment that can help people actually that can't walk or disabilities in some form of way to actually be in the ocean safely and actually get to it. And they're accelerating that program now across all our surf clubs.
And what an amazing experience for those people that get to do that, sometimes for the first time. I've seen them in action before, and oh my God, their faces light up.
Yeah.
Like I'm catching a wave. Sometimes they're catching a wave with the assistance of somebody, and
it's epic.
It's amazing.
And it changes their world. Like the stories that we could go on forever. But the stories I've heard about the impact that it's made to those people, and that brings their life back. And they want to. They've got their purpose now. They want to help heal themselves. Again, whereas when you're in that negative environment all the time, and they sort of start to plummet backwards, rather than that gives them new inspiration and new life. So it's really good. And there's.
So where are we up to?
Okay, then there's the Gold Coast Hospital Foundation. So they're the little charitable arm in our epic state-of-the-art hospital that we've got that actually runs around and understands what each little department needs. So especially during COVID, so whatever departments and the infant department, like whatever equipment those departments need, then they'll go out there and create little events or fundraising things to get the equipment that those little departments need. They've obviously got, I'm not sure exactly, state, federal, I'm not sure how they're funding and how the hospital structure goes, but as we all know, hospitals all struggle to actually, they're all busting at the seams, so this little charitable arm is doing like huge things for their own hospital. So it was super cool for us, because then it's really tangible. We raise funds for them and we buy equipment, So that was really special. The Sanctuary looks after domestic, immediate impacted domestic violence for women and for children. So they create a safe harbour. It's a sanctuary. It's actually exactly what the name is. So you go there, and they get them to be able to get back into the community quicker and do community things. They look after the animals there, the veggie gardens, they interact, and it gets them back into a safe mindset. So Simone out there, she's amazing, and what they do is, and it's right here in our backyard, and it's a bit private where it is, obviously, with looking after who they're looking after, but it is a sanctuary, and it's well needed, especially with what's happening out there in the world right now. The domestic violence is going through the roof, and it's it's sad, but that's the reality we live in. And another domestic violence one was Friends with Dignity. They're amazing. They've a lot of the things I can't actually say because it's such a private topic. But they've got programs that really help deal with immediately impacted. So obviously they work with government agencies, the police, and all the service industries, emergency service industries to really help. So they're a direct conduit from emergency services straight to them, and then they sort out the problems. And so many things are happening out there that the community doesn't know. That is what makes us a safe place because of these organisations. So that's another one. Another one was the Acadia College. They're out here at near Skilled Stadium, or still called Stadium now.
Seabus,
So they're out there. They're a college. I wish that college was around when we were kids. For troubled youth or kids that aren't having a good time at school. They're doing amazing things. Like kids are coming out of, they're finding their passion. We talk about. For me, it was something that was the main thing that I gave myself. My priority was, really accelerating my passions and really focusing on that. I love what I do. I love my job, love my career. I love, what I do, and it's propelled me to where I am today.
Just touching on that. So, creative guy, creative guy, loves a paint, loves a paint, and also loves a sick P&L.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know it's a bit weird.
Yeah, no, it is amazing, and I think I wanted to touch on that just for the kids, going through school and university and all that sort of stuff. Sometimes they get told that if you're a creative, you can't also be, I guess, a numbers person.
No.
Yeah. So I think we get told that we can't be so many things, but there's so many possibilities out there, and I think you're a perfect example of proof that you can be anything you want to be.
You can definitely
So the Acadia College, that's great.
Yeah.
That they're inspiring kids as well.
I was about to say that I'd just like to say to any kids out there that are listening or questioning what they're doing and what career path they're going to do and whether they're going to go to uni or they're going to go to do a trade or whether they're going to go work manufacturing, whatever. The only way I would tell them to look at that answer is what do they find fun doing? Because if they have a passion for something, then and it's fun for them to do, well then they're going to be bloody good at it. If they go down somewhere that's against the grain, that they don't feel like it's fun, they don't feel like it's something that resonates with them, if it doesn't feel like that they're being pressured from parents, society, that you got to be this, you got to get a degree. If that doesn't resonate with them, then don't do it. And that doesn't mean don't do a degree, don't do a trade, don't do this, don't do that. It could be creative, in this creative space. It could be actually, drama or painting or any other form of expressionism. Follow that path. Follow what you're passionate about. If you follow what you're passionate about, you're going to be good at it because it's fun. And then don't worry about the money and being successful. That just comes with it. Because when you're amazing at something, money and success just comes with that. That's just a byproduct of being successful at it. And if you're finding that that's your passion and you're super fun and super happy about your world and what you're achieving in that space, well then the byproduct just comes. And that's I would highly recommend that they just focus on that.
Yep.
And then that will tell them where they're going to go. And don't be caught up in the whole you got to go do this or you got to go do that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a degree. Oh, no, I've deferred. Sorry. Maybe one day I'll go back. No. But anyway, so back to Acadia College. Yeah, they support young kids coming out of school and look at them. Like, so their grade 12, they had a higher than 50% success rate going onwards to go do a bachelor's degree. They've got amazing stories. Kids that are possibly introverts or, stuck inside because they're dealing with depression or anxiety and the like. Then they be in an environment that's supportive, creative, and nurturing. And then they come out of their skin. Next thing you know, they've got like amazing singers or great. They've got a podcast studio there where it teaches them how to hold a podcast,
Awesome.
And it's just so, man, it's amazing. And that's right here in our backyard. So, yeah, that was a really good charity. Another one, Preston Campbell. Obviously, he's supporting the Indigenous space and doing a great job there. I'm a massive supporter of our First Nations people, and I believe that we need to unite the clans. I don't want to go too deep, but I'm such a massive supporter of our Indigenous culture, and to be honest, like, no matter what color skin we all are and no matter where we come from, we all come from somewhere, and we need to bring our ancestry back ourselves. You have an ancestry history. I have an ancestry history. You are an Indigenous person from our land. I'm an Indigenous person from our land. So were my ancestors, and so were your ancestors, and we need to honor them and honor the present ones. And honor each other's ancestors and move forward in one nation across the globe. So yeah, and that will change the world. But yeah, so Preston's doing an amazing job out there in that space, and massive supporter of his charity as well. Okay, so let's run through them. So Serving Our People.
Yep.
The Sanctuary, Animal Welfare League, Currumbin Wildlife Hospital. They're epic. So you know that they're actually implementing. You do so much work with them. They're implementing the the vaccine to cure chlamydia for koalas,
Yep.
and it's working.
Yeah.
You know, and it needs to be heard. And they're at the forefront, and they're looking after all the koalas here, right here in your backyard, here, West Burleigh, Eleonora. They've actually got GPSs on them, and they've got an app, like you can see where they all are, and they're looking after them. And then not just that, but like, you know, all our wildlife that comes in. So Animal Welfare League does domestic animals, and Currumbin looks after our wildlife that's been, you know, hit by human growth, you know, in construction and roads and whatnot. So they're doing a great job. White Cloud was the last one. Again, Adam, he's doing a great job there.
What's White Cloud?
They're like a domestic violence and support network for anyone. They've got a hotline, and not just domestic violence, like people in need, or, you know, self-harm, or anyone. Like, they've got a hotline that we recommend people to use straight away in the construction spaces as well. Mental health, they're a big mental health organisation that cures mental health, and you know, just anyone in need that needs a hand and needs someone to talk to. They've been great. Their platform's great. Their service is great. They're the only service that I know that has a 24-hour hotline where you can call right there, get some support, and be directed to the right you know, support mechanisms to help people. And like I said, we've been recommending people go there. Just fellow trades and whatnot. It's not necessarily you know, from one company or another, but you're in the space, you see people, you know, that aren't feeling the best for whatever's going on, and you know, blokes have the highest mental health issues. You know, we got to the blokes out there need to amplify the divine masculine. We need to bring it back.
Oh, absolutely, man.
And we need to embrace it and support each other as blokes, and it's not weak to speak. There's, you know, and we need to get our blokes back into a positive mindset. We're getting flogged out there. There's a war going on, you know, mentally. You know, we're wearing the brunt of it all. We're all carrying a lot of stress and anxiety. No one's the same. I don't care like what you got, what you own, or how what response. Like we all carry it. Well,
I think men are getting hit hard, and I think you and I both know that from you know, personal experience, either ourselves or with others. But, you know, the village is somewhat gone. You know, we need to bring back that village mindset.
We do.
Whereby men used to hang out as hunters, and women used to hang out as, you know, together while the hunters were out. And there was always this, you know, conversations on both sides happening, fun and laughter. My favourite film is Apocalypto. It depicts it perfectly, right? You know, where the basically the South American people, you know, and the hunters in the Amazon, you know, were out and they were joking around and, you know, slapping each other and whacking each other and almost shooting each other with arrows and all sorts of crazy stuff. While the women were actually, you know, talking amongst each other and laughing and gossiping about the man, and the men was probably getting, you know, crap put on them as well.
Yeah.
You know, but there was this, you know, camaraderie created with the men, camaraderie created with the women, and at the end of the day, people came back together, and you know, and you got to share the stories of what happened, you know, during the day, and the children were all raised by a village. You know, it takes a village to raise the child, is a common saying.
Correct.
You know, and we're totally missing that, and even though with, you know, greater internet connection than we've ever had, we're further apart.
We need to bring those ancient rituals and rites of passage back. It's what's going to amplify the divine feminine, masculine, and like you said, a community, you know, will grow a man. But that's the rites of passage, and we don't have that in our society anymore. And we need those community bubbles to be there, nurturing youth becoming men, and, you know, our young ladies being child bearers and nurturing them through them evolving. You know, they've got their cycles and we've got our cycles, and you know, we need to bring that ancient teachings back.
Yeah, agree. Where to for the Usher Cup?
Oh, where to? Let's go back to Usher Cup. Yeah, the Usher Cup. Okay, so yeah, The charity. I'm sorry. Yeah, I could keep going on for charity space, and
I know you could.
Yeah.
I know you do.
Yeah, I'm just
mate,
really passionate about it. But yeah, back to Usher Cup.
Usher Cup. It's had 2 years, and
Yeah.
and
So year 2 was, we said we're going to be bigger and better than year 1. We're probably bigger and better way more than what we anticipated. We actually, we felt like we sort of we were in the top 1% bandwidth on Vimeo, so we got put on notice by them. And our live stream had 17.7 thousand viewers over the 3 days. We didn't expect it to be that large. Obviously, it wasn't all at one time. It was over the 3 days. So yeah, day 1 had, I think, 5,500. Day 2 had high 6s, and day 3 had high 6s. And day 3, we didn't mean to, but we're up against the Pipe Masters. It was the first day of the Pipe Masters. And we sort of felt like we might drop off a few viewers and whatnot, but obviously with the time difference and whatnot, we still managed to retain them. And obviously I had the split screen going on as well. And I'm sure every other surfer did as well, because it was like pipe wow, snapper wow. And it was really good for us too, because we could actually, having a look at our live stream versus the WL and WSL's live stream, and obviously they're the world leaders in the surfing event space, and you know they do an epic, amazing job, and we're so stoked to have them loving what we do as well, you know, with Usher Cup. And it was just so super cool to see us on our first attempt, and you know, it all just come together. Like I just said before, like magic just happened, and we've got so many amazing people here in this town. You know, obviously all our world champs that we have here, and all our you know, big wave surfers and surfers that have been on the CT and done very, very successful careers, and they all come down and they all support us, and it's just such a brotherhood and sisterhood of epicness down there, and it's just, you know what I was just most grateful the most about was what I actually said to everyone, was that I'm just so grateful for the epic vibe over the whole weekend, because that's exactly what it was. It was all grins. Everyone was supportive. There was such an epic vibe. That's when magic happens, because everyone was just having so much fun, and the clubs were having fun, and the cheer squads of the clubs, and the supporters of the young girls coming through, and the young guys. It was just epic.
And wasn't it a boyfriend-girlfriend who,
yeah.
who won?
Yeah,
So
Sheldon and Macy Callahan. So yeah, Macy Callahan and Sheldon been together. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure for over a year or quite some, well, yeah, some time. I sort of said it would be a great little, you know, wedding budget, but I don't know if they like that or not. I don't know if that was on the cards, but, you know, I just threw that in there. But look, they're both great surfers, and they both did an amazing, and to be honest, they were both standouts during the whole event. Every heat that they were in, they did some really radical and you know, explosive surfing, and it was so good to watch, you know. And Keely Andrews as well, she came second behind Macy, and she was also amazing, and she was, you know, she's now into the QS, and they'll probably both be on the Challenger Series again, and I have no doubt about that. And Ellie J. Brooks from M&M Board Rider, she came third. She was epic, and yeah, and little Charlotte from, she was actually a wild card. She came fourth. She was actually a wild card that was actually not even going to be in the event. And then she came in and came fourth, and she was, yeah, like a young girl. She's a young girl, and she did really well. And yeah, obviously in the boys, it was Sheldon came first, and then 0.01 point behind was the hog himself, Nathan Hedge. So good seeing Hedge out there in the surf and seeing the classic Hedge backhand going upside down, and it was just all time. We were all just in the tents there, just like, you know, barracking him on, and he just such a good vibe having him there in the contest, in the event. He just brings so much passion and joy to the whole team. He's just really good, and Jagger as well. He didn't really get the waves that he wanted at the time, but he's such an amazing up and coming surfer, and he's definitely one to watch. There's no doubt he's going to be on the tour soon, and yeah, he came third, and he did a fantastic job there as well. And then the young surfer from Noosa, I think Benny's. I think he's only like I think he might be only like 16 or 18 years old, or in that bracket, and he did so well. Like he did so well during the whole contest as well. And so to see all these kids and surfing with, legends and up and comers and
Great exposure for them.
Oh
hey?
man, it's just
Yeah,
epic. It was
yeah,
just so
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
And we obviously we grew the clubs interstate. So we had Torquay board riders, North Narrabeen, North Shelley. And so North Shelley, Snapper won the teams event and North Shelley came second. And then at the ABB, Australian Board Riders Battle, the following week, North Shelley came first and Snapper came second. So, it was really good. They've been, great rivalry, but there is so much camaraderie between the clubs. It is so warming to see the camaraderie. Yeah, there's competitive environment and, they all want to, their club wants to beat each other and whatnot. Of course they do. They're clubs. We're all like, they're surf clubs, board rider clubs. But, I went up to the Rainbow Bay Surf Club just quickly and to see, the Snapper guys that were holding the big Usher Cup and give it over to little Huey Vaughan from North Shelley and get him to hold it up. And the Snapper board riders were like, North Shelley. And then, another club would come in and they'd be yelling out them, their name as well. And it was just so much camaraderie up there. It's just epic. It's just an epic vibe all round, all week. And it's a family event. As you know, we don't do alcohol. I don't like that environment down there at Usher Cup. And it's a family event. It's a community event. It's a charity giving event. And the board riders as well, like we're teaching the kids now about the charities. So and how we do that is because then the winning clubs, they get an allocation of funds that they get to donate to a charity. So not only do the charities all get $10,000 each, which we raised $100,000, but there was also 10 grand. So we gave them 110 grand, but out of that 10 grand, the winning clubs had to donate some of that. It was first, second, third, in increments down. And so then they have to choose which charity to give to. And
Sick.
for them to choose, they have to understand the charity, see what they do, what resonates with their club, who they want to support. So it really brings a lot of inclusiveness into the event.
Massive.
Yeah.
Gender equality as well, which,
Yeah.
Yeah,
like for the girls, like,
Yep.
first place, Macy's won $7,000. Keely won 4. Third got LEJ won 3, and then little Charlotte got $2,000. Like it was epic. And as you know, at Usher Cup, even last place gets prize money, and we're giving out cash on the day.
Sick.
So Mont Lorraine from Snapper Board Riders, they do amazing for their own club, and obviously the president, Mr. Jay Phillips. But they do such an amazing job for their own club at Snapper Board Riders, but for us at Usher Cup as well. And Mont's there protecting the money, handing it out. So, last place for the girls get $50. And because the guys have got more surfers, 96 and surfers and 48 surfers for the women. So last place gets $25. But what that does for a kid coming out of that event, winning $25 cash, just competing in the event is huge.
Yeah.
It's epic.
Yeah.
Like, and then when they come up through the different rounds, like they're coming out of there with good prize money, Yeah. So, it's really good.
And you're going international next year.
And you just hit it on the nail. So yeah, we left that quiet for a little while, and we announced it at Usher Cup this year, 2022. So Usher Cup's evolving into becoming now a World Club Challenge, which is going to put the Gold Coast back into international surfing events. As you know, we haven't had an international surfing event for a couple of years because of whatever's happened with COVID and the like. So puts Gold Coast back on the map. It's our city's event. It's our town's event. We're not moving it, and bringing international clubs here. So, 6 international clubs were confirmed for the announcement, but I think I'm going to give you a little gold nugget. Hasn't been given out anywhere publicly yet. It's going to hit public news. Everyone in Usher Cup's probably going to get the shits with me now, telling everyone here at your space first, but I'm going to tell you. So basically we've got San Clemente, Santa Cruz and Huntington Beach from mainland USA, Maui board riders from Hawaii. We've got the Padma boys from Bali, and we've got a team coming from New Zealand. We've been chatting with Surfing New Zealand over there, and they've got their board riders battle March the 3rd and 4th, I think it is, early March. And the winner of their New Zealand board riders battle will be the team that comes to Usher Cup. So part of their first prize will be that they are going to be nominated by Surfing New Zealand to come and compete for the international Usher Cup. And last Tuesday, Japan confirmed that they're going to nominate a team. So now we've got 7 international clubs. We do think we're probably going to have a couple more, but I can't tell you that space yet. But yeah, so it's going to be epic. It's going to be so huge. And I can't tell you actually. No, there's some other cool things that are going to happen in the space. We're actually activating the space from the Coolangatta Surf Club, Queen Elizabeth Park, from that Kira there. So we're going to activate that space from there all the way through to Snapper Rocks. That's all I can say. How? I can't tell you yet, but we're activating it, and it's going to be an epic event for the Gold Coast. So it'll grow to 4 days now. So
Tourism Queensland, you should be taking notes.
Yeah, well, yeah. So we've never had support by anyone. We'd love some support, but we're definitely gonna run this event here. It's epic, and we have so much support from the
kudos to you, mate. Like honestly, kudos to you, and kudos to your team. Kudos to everybody involved in what you've done and what you're about to do for next year. And look, I hope the likes of Tourism Queensland and others support you, because there's that saying, do more than what you get paid for and eventually get paid more for what you do. You've already shown that you can do this on your own, but
we're going to deliver it on our own.
Hey, it takes a village to do a surf comp, right? So
that's right. and the village delivered a world-class event, and we broadcast it globally. Yeah. It was,
Rad.
It was
rad. Yeah. Mate, fantastic chat. But before we take off, I've got a few last questions I want to ask you. So, where in your life have you been most proactive, and how has that benefited you?
Okay, I think when I really got serious about wanting to grow myself, I was more proactive about my passion more than anything. So, and it was really finding my passions, obviously. And that's what really propelled me to where I am today. However, I feel like that focus has shifted now to I'm still really proactive in my passions, but it's the passions that I let lay dormant at that time in my early stage of my life, when I was more about my career, my job, the Usher Group, my company, and I was really focused on that. And I felt like I let my other passions not evolve into what they could become, because I was so focused on making it. That was my primary task, was to get mum and me and the kids out of housing commission. We done that, and then evolve it into the company and what it is today. So that was my primary focus, I would say, was really my passions, and then and my passion was my business. That's changed, obviously. Like now there's a bit more balance.
Yep.
And obviously as well, I got married. I had, my beautiful wife gave us 2 amazing magical children, and so I'm not now, my wife just called me dark to dark, leave it dark, get home at dark, and I was just so bullish, just job, career. Yep. Whereas now I've got, other priorities as well in my life that I need to find that balance, and I'm still.
So where are you being proactive now that's benefiting you?
Right now,
outside of career.
Yeah, I think I've sort of been more focused about my inner self and finding out who I really am and what I was really meant to do here, and what I can do, and now that I've given that more energy and being more proactive in that space, it's actually made me realize that there was a reason why I let it lay dormant, because I wouldn't be able to do it to the level I can do it now if I had more balance that in the early stages. I possibly wouldn't have been able to be in the position I am today. So at the time, I knew it was always there. I knew I wanted to touch into that world, but I sort of let it, and I didn't know why. And now I've really been accelerating, looking inside myself, my spirituality, the world, what's going on, doing way more research on ancient teachings and communities and just storytelling from ancient times and seeing how relevant that is today in today's society, and how that's what's going to help us, deal with what we've got going on right now in the world. It's the veil is getting thinner, and it's only going to be love and light that's going to continue breaking it down and bringing us all together. And
that's where, and I guess that's coming true in your latest. And then that flows back into your career, because that flows back into life and flows back into what you're passionate about again. And then there's community, and it seems like it's coming true in the light of Usher.
Yeah.
Usher Cup.
Correct. Yeah.
And
Fun My Challenge.
And Fun My Challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, which is really good. That they're my passion projects now, and I've got a few of them. But they're my passion projects, and the creative space obviously as well. So I'm spending more time in my creative space and giving back and speaking and talking to younger kids and speaking on different platforms and stages and whatnot to try and make the world a happier place.
Yeah.
One day at a time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to be altruistic, isn't it? But until you've got, I guess, all the other stuff sorted out, you're basically going to do yourself a bit of a disservice, or maybe your family, or your staff, or your team, or the companies that you work for, a bit of a disservice if you put too much energy into that altruism.
It's a balance, isn't it? You know, we can all be really masculine or really feminine, but really the truth is balance within ourselves, and I'm still learning how to do that.
We all are, mate. We all are.
I don't have the golden secret or anything yet. I'm just
not yet enlightened, sitting under a Buddha tree.
Definitely working my way towards that. But look, for myself, it's just balance in my mind, and I find my satisfaction and gratitude all stems from serving. Like I didn't know what servanthood leadership was, for so many years, until one of my mentors explained it. He's like, "Oh, your textbook servanthood leadership, level 5 leader," and I was like, "Oh, I didn't even know what the hell that meant." But it was all because I just was so passionate about my job and the company, that I'd like to call servanthood leadership something different, like more like something like, how do you measure the froth or the stoke of your business? Because when everyone's happy, they're doing great. Let your people serve your clients and customers. I think Richard Branson's got something like that as well. And but unhappy staff will not run or grow a business. So how do you measure that? And it's like me, I was just constantly serving our people, walking through departments and constantly serving them. And how best can I help them be the best versions of themselves? How can I help them grow in the business? How can I help them? Where's their bottlenecks? Or what issues have they got? What systems have we broken that we need to fix because we're ever evolving? The same at home. We're all serving our wife, our children, our family, our communities. So I found that was really a massive part of who I really am. And when I went, wow, like that was sort of like this moment, then I just started accelerating it even further, because that's what makes me happy. And then I just constantly do that now. But whereas before I didn't I was automatically doing it, but didn't understand that there was actually a term of it, or actually it's a trait. And then realized that all the leaders, like all the successful leaders out there, they're not there doing do as I say. They're like, what can I help you with? And do as I do, not do what I say. And I've learned so much in that space from research and mentorship. And I believe everyone should have mentors. And that doesn't mean you got to have these high paid mentors. I mean friends, people that you can talk to, spiritual guided people, like whoever's in your life that can mentor you. And that doesn't mean that could be your best mate, that you just need to lean on, and that's a mentor because he's there for you. He's listening and he's giving you the hard truth, and that's a mentor. And that doesn't you don't need to go out and pay for all these mentors. Just find people that you can, that they can give you the straight, and you got to be able to take it. And also you got to be able to speak it, the truth, because if you can't speak the truth, they're not going to be able to help you.
Awesome note to finish on. Thank you so much,
Too
Theo.
easy.
Mate, fundmychallenge.com
Yeah.
and ushercup.com.
.com. Yep. Check it out.
And
2023 is coming.
how do people follow what you are up to personally? Do you put anything out on the socials?
I've been a bit slack with my socials. I've got
Nothing wrong with that.
I've been a bit slack. My wife and I were talking about it the other day. I think I did like 6 posts last year on Instagram. I've got a private account. I want to be better at that, but I think are
you on LinkedIn? Are you on
yeah,
Insta?
I'm on LinkedIn. Yeah, I'm on Insta, but that's one thing I need to be better at.
All right. Well, how about we just watch Fund My Challenge and the Usher Cup, also Usher Group.
Usher Group, yeah.
And thanks so much for watching, guys. You can get this podcast on YouTube. Just search for Me Media on YouTube. It's also on Apple Podcasts, the Proactive Podcast, and it's on Spotify as well, the Proactive Podcast. Thanks for watching. Chris Hogan and Theo Vairaktaris. Stay tuned.
Cheers.